Okay. I say a little bit further away from the microphone than I intended to. And let's switch to the actual game. I prefer to start on the load screen because the both this and Saga Frontier 2 have a screen that they kind of anime type opening that they like to show. Since I was getting everything set up last time, I'll just do a quick run through of our suits right now. The Gan is obviously our strongest melee suit. Gundam is quite a bit stronger than most of the rest of our suits, especially when it comes to range. That Kamefer's technically a little bit stronger melee-wise than the Gan, but the Kamefer cannot equip the Impact Lance. So at least for the moment, there's no reason to switch Tristan over to the Kamefer. And the Gelgoog is sitting there just a little bit behind the Gundam, mostly behind the Gundam when it comes to armor. And the actual weapons, we only have the Lance there. Just kept the Gundam with its default stuff. The Kamefer, of course, has that sickle arm and it has a shoulder and shield weapon. And the Gelgoog is mainly there just to get... Is it stun that the sniper rifle? It's some type of thing that effectively amounts to stun. I think it's shock. And I wish we could actually look at the info here because the shield is pretty decent. We are a level behind Hal as he's joined us, but I don't think that's that important. We need to go to Fort Taiga. And I need to leave the city before I can go to Fort Taiga. Yeah, nobody else has auto drive. It's not Fort Taiga, it's Fall Dust. Our suits are set up pretty well. The primary thing that the Gundam is set up to do is a first round shoot-all. Technique doesn't help there. And it can do that with the rifle. And I'm not entirely certain where the actual base is. It's somewhere around here. Against 3 enemies, the shoot-all's really not that big of a deal because, you know, Gavenger, of course, is slower. Oh man, it can't actually kill anything yet. Well, that kind of sucks. By the time we get to where we're going, though, it might be able to kill stuff because I have no idea where the hell I'm going. Oh, this might actually be able to kill something. Spoiler, it probably won't. even though we are set up for shoot all, it's kind of disappointing. Much like I have to imagine that quick shot was for the cold climate GM. Go through all the trouble to use a boost attack, make sure it goes off, and it misses. There may have been text back at Ball Dust about where the hell this thing is. I wouldn't know. Oh man, I wasn't paying enough attention to which one he already attacked. This is potentially bad, but I think the Mega Slash should take out the cold climate GM. Also, that swallow was apparently really loud. It got picked up by my mic. Sorry about that. I'm not used to having to deal with that. The repositioning had seemed to catch most of those. I don't know if we can take these out yet. Might as well give it a try. I guess that answers that one. On a crit, yes we can. Otherwise, I have no idea still. As you can see, they're primarily good for credits. We're actually doing okay on credits. I was hoping to not need to heal before we got to where we're going. But since I didn't know where the hell we're going, that did not pan out. The double miss. Sure, attack the one person that can't actually kill you on a revenge shot. They are really going after Tristan for some reason. Maybe I should put somebody with a bit more defense at the front. And that would be, I think, actually anybody. Especially Gavender. The Gundam is, mainly due to that shield, very strong defensively. one of the nice things about having our slowest person also be our weakest person is I don't have to worry too much about their attack being followed up by something that just kills the enemy they were attacking. Which admittedly isn't relevant 90% of the time, since Remy and Tristan are just killing everything, but eventually it might be relevant. If we had a stronger weapon on the Gundam, it might be relevant. So I should probably check out the audio there, see how the motorcycle in the background came through. I also wanted to do an A/B comparison of how this microphone sounds versus, or this position sounds versus the prior. I suspect this sounds a little bit better because I need to do less noise reduction. And thus it's taking less out of the mids of my voice, but... and there might also be more proximity effect. I don't know if that's a positive or negative with my voice, though. Now I'm wondering if I actually went through and did all of the plot stuff here. There's a distinct possibility that... oh, that's not a possibility. I'm pretty damn sure I didn't. Because I never went in here, I don't think. And I'm just going to use the rest option when we get the opportunity. I think this is a trap. I'm 90% certain that, much like Resner, this is just a trap. And of course we can't get through, so we can't get to those chests I pointed out last time. We will need to wait until we have access to them. Post this fighting area time. That music switch actually kind of worked. I think that we got lucky with timing there, because I seem to recall normally it is jarring as hell. Resner presumably joins us in her Gyan, which, as we can see from our current setup, is a perfectly capable suit. It's just a little bit behind the Gelgoog special that Hal's rocking. Hal mostly makes up for his deficiencies by the fact that he has really good stats, still being at or beyond our top everything. As you can see from Resner's stats being, you know, not absurdly better than everybody else, she's actually set up like a character that will eventually join us. I'm just checking around to make sure that I did not miss anything. And I can't remember where the rest area is here. I think it's over here, but... since the emulator does not have the same absurd loading times for most of these transitions that the actual PS2 does, I am much more willing to run around. I could turn on turbo, but that always seems to mess up the emulator a bit. And I think I showed these off last time. They're pretty decent. But of course, the suit we actually want to improve gear on, everything's a downgrade. So it's looking like it's the barracks, which makes sense. Start with the far one first. Or there might not be a heal here, and I might just be looking for something that doesn't exist. There we go. Oh, it's free anyway. That's good. That's not what I wanted. So I think it's just straight east. I don't fully remember. I do want to check one thing. I don't remember how many lockpicks I have left. Hacking tools, not lockpicks. I have a single hacking tool. And I don't remember... One, I don't remember how many hacking tool chests are in this next area. I know there's at least one. I think there's two. But the issue with that is I don't think either one's worth it. Oh, okay, so yeah, just directly east according to that. East and east some more. I'll give this another shot. I don't expect it to work, but worst case scenario, we get to see a the attack go off. Which really, it's saying something that, you know, it going off and not killing anything is the worst case. Hey, it killed something. Surprise. In this case, it would probably be best if it actually did... if he could go first. Since that way it would increase his chances of killing. still don't know if we can actually really kill this thing, so... It looks like we can only do damage on crits. So... that's effectively a big ol' no, we cannot kill it. Good, we got away. I assume that shaking is what's supposed to be the army doing stuff. Fortunately, the one that was getting attacked by Gavenger should have likely died regardless. One of the nice things about fighting enemies that use melee is you do get your own counterattacks. I'm not sure if we get another... if we get to access this another time. Given that I can't remember, it might not be the... assuming that it is actually 2, might not be the worst idea to bring up an FAQ for it. Kind of odd that she's the one getting that mission. Yes, the snow is why the radars aren't working. If not for the map, I wouldn't have realized that there was actually a way to go east from here. Based off that fact, I'm going to go east. Feels like I'm running into a lot more walls than I think I actually am, just because the snow movement is kinda weird. Fortunately, the regular encounters here are still going to be pretty easy, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there's barrier, whatever the hell the enemies were, that are immune to melee, and I'm sure there's mirror enemies that are, immune to the ranged weapons, but fortunately, the main party we have does not care about that. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of goops. Actually, might be a perfectly good time for Shoot All. And if it had gone first, it might have killed that Goof Custom before Tremmy got hit with heat. I'm just glad these enemies don't have impact lances. Now we see one of the reasons why Resnar has the big protect from everything option part. Fortunately, because I did prepare for this, well, not this battle specifically, but because I did prepare for tougher encounters, I didn't notice what dropped. Oh, looks like nothing dropped. Cool. I was thinking something did, just because it seems like that's been the case for almost everything, all of the encounters we've had for a while. If Tremmy will be able to one-shot one of these. Nope. I'm not sure if Tristan would be able to one-shot it either, so I'm not sure it's a huge deal. Yeah, I have some doubts that Tristan would have been able to one-shot things, so probably best that I did not spread out the attacks. I want to avoid unnecessarily using TP, but I also want to avoid unnecessarily running back to that save point. Okay, this actually was the way to go. I think that's the minus 15 attack. Oh, that's actually a pretty good part. I guess the energy capacitor is something that we are not currently using, so we would have two of them. And I am... oh no, it just got put into the correct one. Correct area. Yeah, it's the minus 15 attack. Curious as to the shape. Oh yeah, the Camphor has the sickle arm, so you can't do that. Dumb that the only suit that I have that actually has the spot for it is already our strongest defensively. That's kind of the way it happens, though. hopefully that level helps with Gavinger doing a little bit more damage, because he was kind of on edge of being able to do enough damage to kill things with full shot. Shoot all. Not full shot. And it seems like he got about 5 attack out of that level, I think. We're gonna go after the red encounter. Yeah, everybody should be fine on HP. That's not the red... I guess it is the red encounter. It seemed like we were a little bit far away from that. Okay, so Mirror, of course, cannot be... hit with ranged weapons. I don't know what Terror does. I suspect it probably hurts their stats, but... And we are now done with what we can do with Tristan, which is always interesting. Doesn't really matter that missed. And I think that basically makes this over. Check out what that is. Oh, Gatling Fire is one of the really good ones. Gatling Body is also pretty good, but Gatling Fire, dumping all of your ranged weapons. Tremmy already had it. It's the reason for just dumping all the various garbage things you have on things that are very strong but have ridiculous energy requirements. So long as you can throw, 2 ranged weapons, 2 attached ranged weapons, shoulder, I think that's it. I think that's what you're limited to. Five can be very, very strong. Yeah, that wasn't really worth it. I don't think we're even using a wing on anybody. No, because I'm not considering speed to be that important. Okay. The Gelgoog special is using a wing. I don't know if the extra wing's better than the enhanced one. Doesn't really matter, we're not getting Char permanently anyway. I'm really not sure which one's the more dangerous enemy here. Sorry about that. That was me accidentally tapping the microphone cable. Oh, and I see we are at a kind of odd point with I guess Gavinger and Tristan have these... Oh, it was because Tristan got hit with that. with the speed down. So under normal circumstances, I believe he's still going to be faster. None of these enemies are particularly dangerous. Also, it's always kind of weird when we see the camphor. It always kind of looks to me like its head is down because of the angle of its horn. The fuck's a fuse? Cleansing fluid like 10 credits? Something like that? And I don't think we can purchase the TP recovery items, so... I mean, I should probably just be using repair kits when I need to heal, but I don't really like using repair kits. Fortunately, the bombers do not have much health. Plasma saber. That might be pretty good. Again, I don't really remember 90% of these weapons. That kind of sucks. I mean, one of the problems, of course, is just that I am comparing all of these things to the Gundam saber, or Gundam equipment. And I moved the mic a little bit because I noticed that I was at the lower, consistently at the lower end of what I want my mic to be peaking. And when I'm peaking at the lowest part of where I want to be, that is probably a little bit quieter than I would like the stream to end up. And of course, the main reason I notice it is because a lot of the streams I follow recently have been pretty inconsistent in audio quality. Not quality, volume. Quality and volume are not the same thing. I'm just an idiot. I think we can boost these guys out. In all likelihood, anyway. The bombers, at least, are safe to kill that way. Hey, we seem to be able to actually kill everything that way now. That's very good. That is... it's a little bit faster, I think, maybe. The real shoot-all combo will start once we have the ability to do either 2 shoot-alls or the 7 energy ability. Here we get to test my theory. I think if one of them does fail to die, it'll be the one hit by Tremmy. Or everything here could have had, you know, more health than I anticipated. That's equally valid. Equally possible. I'm not sure if there is another save point that we're going to run into very soon. So I'm just going to drop the repair. And Aeon has a whole bunch of TP, even if we do end up using Bit with her a whole bunch. She's actually set up pretty well for that. Unfortunately, these have more health than the thing they look like, so I don't think this will actually kill anything. But it does make it so that if they attack Scavenger, he should be able to kill them. Which I don't think would be the case otherwise. And of course it ends up being a very good thing that we healed Tremmy, otherwise we would need to be reviving her after the fight. I'm going to double check how many repair kits we have. Sorry for the plosive. Yeah, we have plenty of repair kits to I apparently need to change the way my mic is facing because I'm getting way too many plosives right now. We'll see if that works a little bit better. I'm noticing that it is a little bit louder in my own microphone or in my own headphones. Barrier's immune to melee. Okay, let's just do a shoot all, just in case. The melee is not quite enough to kill everybody. Now, the most dangerous thing the barrier doms could potentially do would be a counter zone. And that would be dangerous primarily... No, this isn't helping the plosives. Primarily because... God damn it. They're immune to melee. So it's just a free pass to hit us. Fortunately, the leaders are apparently pretty weak. Oh, I wasn't noticing that. Chafe takes care of beams, I think. I think if it was missile... Oh, no, it takes care of the... I apparently don't know what the chafe does. Chaff. That would explain why that did something other than what I expected. Projectiles. know why the emulator screwed up there. Weird. Oh, this... this is... I say it's probably gonna suck, but, One of the problems is I think that Gavinger's the only person I have with the bomber or whatever techniques, so... And of course I don't... Well, it looks like shoot all plus the melee should kill things, so... Or not. And because there is a certain amount of danger with them using boosts, specifically using quick attack type boosts. She'll probably kill everything. I don't know if she'll go first is the main issue. It'll kill at least one enemy. Bits are pretty strong. Also, there are a lot of the set encounters here. Kinda sucks. At least this is just another set of Gans. So I did learn my lesson from last time. I just want to try to take him out. Fortunately, their attacks aren't nearly as damaging as ours are, really. And their data sells, but it's not super great. I think it's 70 per... Well, if I had to guess, I should probably look at the map anyway because it looks kind of like this is going towards a dead end. Let's get up a boost here. Less dangerous to just have them attack the same target. Given that they have status inflicting weapons. Which are always awful to deal with. Unfortunately, the leaders are kind of crappy. They're easier to deal with as far as the damage they do than most of the enemies that we are fighting in just random encounters. Maybe that explains the leader name. Shot killer, huh? We'll see. Okay, guess the name is accurate. I believe Gavenger is still our strongest melee person, or outside of the two obvious ones. So, there's no reason to replace him when we're doing melee. In fact, really, aside from the fact that Tristan cannot do ranged attacks of any sort, there's just not a lot of reason to replace people from this party for much any reason. Rick Diaz came for Thruster L. Unfortunately, I believe that that's the one that we already have. Oh no. So once we get to a... It's not that came for spikes, of course. But once we get to a spot where that's an option, we can drop those on something. The thrusters have very good armor and speed. So that's actually useful. These things are actually dangerous. I wonder if all of their attacks can do that. Plasma seems like it might be a kind of pain in the ass. Fortunately, nothing lasts into out of combat, but man, there are a lot of encounters here. Yeah, like this, that shot might take care of the Arctic Zakus. One of them anyway. I'm curious as to what the red encounter here will be. Also as to if it will be something that'll be difficult at all. So 2 Gans and a Ganser. I think taking things out we know we can take out will still minimize our damage received. Especially since I have, again, no idea how much health the The answer has. That could be Speed Lance. That would probably make this hurt more, but yeah. I figured either Tremmy or Tristan would take it out. Why is there a cutscene after that, though? Hopefully there's a save point soon. Kinda doubt it, though. I suspect we're a handful of fights away, at least. Just because I remember this zone being a pain in the ass. P-words are apparently very bad for me as well. What the fuck are these? I don't know. I just don't know. Hard to damage is what they are. It looks like they're not immune to melee. Maybe they're immune to ranged? I hope not. Okay, so they're not immune to anything. They might just be kind of hard to hit. Fuck you, game. So, looks like High Bomber is the way to go for Gavenger. Interesting. Double shield actually seems pretty strong for such a inexpensive, boost. Also, it's very good to know that my pop filter is apparently not doing much. I'm just putting too much air across the microphone. Wait, was there? I saw it out of the corner of my eye there. Well, corner of the camera. And it only stood out at all because it was more defenders. Because it was gray, grayish white. It doesn't even do anything. Okay, so we use High Bomber again, but yeah. Odds were with us that we weren't going to need to use more of Gavenger's TP. And another red encounter. More defenders? I doubt it. Oh. Okay, so I'm wrong. What the hell's a full armor Dom, though? Familiar with a full armor Gundam. Not so much the Dom variety. Okay, so whatever its boost attack is an actual attack, and we don't have to see it. A better version of the option parts for extra armor. Now with this area right after this encounter being a little bit more open, I'm hopeful that we're coming up on a... what the hell is it? Save point. Man, enemy Gelgoogs have a shit ton of health. Also, we are like 40 minutes into this area. It's kinda ridiculous. I suspect the Gelgoog special will fare better against this just because of its higher health. Though it did initially make me think the enemy had gone first. Oh, that's perfect. That sniper rifle keeps showing its use it seems like every time I end up having to actually use it. Wonder if that Naginata is any good. I hope not, since I can't pronounce the damn thing. Yeah, not so much. Not when the sickle arm is 160. And even the Gundam Saber is 110. Better than the Heat Hawk, sure, but the Gelgoog can't rock it. Oh, hey, I know what that green icon is. No, I'm not saving like this. I'll move everybody into the right spot and then save. And we're actually not doing too bad, Scavenger aside, on TP. But against those defenders, it would have been a humongous pain in the ass if I wasn't using his TP. So I think there were... Yeah. Well, that sucks. That also sucks. So I'm going to have to run back into the save point after grabbing these. And I'm probably going to run back into the save point after fighting this too. Definitely going to run back into the save point after fighting this. Lancers are strong enough on their own. To be dangerous. The fact that everything is faster than Gavenger does not help matters. Kind of rough to deal with. Probably would have been fine not defending with like Gavenger, but we get to see... Oh, that might actually help us. It ended up not really mattering, it seems. What's a shotgun? I know what a shotgun is. What's a Gundam shotgun? I'll check after the save. And we've actually gotten quite a bit of experience here. I'd say this would be a good grinding spot, if not for the fact that all the experience we've gotten has been really... Oh, that's not bad. From the set encounters. About as strong as the sniper rifle, but it might have issues with accuracy that aren't being mentioned. Really going all out to make sure that these regular fights suck. And sorry about the silence there, I was trying to get my mic stand in place since it seems to be drooping for some reason. I guess I should qualify that as I was trying unsuccessfully to get my mic stand in place. I suppose that is the problem with cheap mic stands. Foreshadowing. About as subtle as this game gets. And no, I'm not concerned with Cavenger being in the Gundam anyway. So we fought an Apsalis, and I don't remember what we fought before that. What are we gonna fight now? You know, I kind of wish we had access to mobile armor at some point in time. Even if it required using, you know, all 3 character slots for the same thing. And this would be very, very hard to balance. Or even if it was something like a summon of some kind. Fortunately, as mobile armor, it doesn't have any strengths against, or it can't counterattack. I don't know what I was trying to say there. It hits like 2 trucks carrying a maybe slightly smaller truck. Fortunately, I know it does not have that much health. I believe everything that it does can be blocked with Beam Field. I'm not 100% on that, though. So there is the distinct possibility that I am just going to eat shit here. Possibility remains. Oh, that wasn't that bad. I don't think this is Beam. Something tells me. Oh. I did say the possibility was distinctly there that we would just eat shit. Now, I believe these bosses do have set patterns, so I will know that I will want to do a charge with Gavenger. We have to get through the big Zam first. And I guess I should say, I don't know if they're 100% set, but I believe they're major attacks. I'm gonna see if we can't get lucky with retreating. Since we are faster than them. Yeah, retreating kinda sucks in this game. One of the reasons why running into a metal enemy or golden enemy early can be a death sentence. Which is dumb as hell. Nice. Unfortunately, we can also advance text with the cancel button, which is real useful since just jamming X would likely make it so that I... right. Oh, we can't retreat anyway. So. We are not doing anywhere near as much damage as we were doing before. Aeon has the offense hack. Yeah. Should make the earthquake much more survivable. Resner's big slash is 7 energy. Hypercharged, yeah. Combo of actually defending and removing its power up made that much more survivable. Oh. I'm gonna charge with Gavander. I believe that is a... but I'm not going to risk it. I guess what I was trying to say is I believe the sniper rifle is a projectile weapon, so it would not be blocked by the beam field, but no reason to risk it. will be essentially the same pattern as before, but again, without the power-up, it's not really all that worrying. You can just defend through the earthquake. I have no idea what the hell this is. Oh. Well, you know, I still don't know. Resner could do a boost attack. I don't know if she would be fast enough, one. I don't know how much damage this would do anyway. Oh. A lot. I was thinking Aeon also had a beam field. Might be that she is like a level away from getting that. I suspect it's more than that, though. Unfortunately. Nothing else. I know that the arm missiles should be projectiles. And that should help with the defense for Aeon. will not want the camphor out while... Yeah, I think that's not actually a viable plan. We just need the survivability a bit too much. Both of our things are missiles. Here is one of the issues. We want to get a non-beam weapon on the Gundam. I mean, the Saber is making it largely irrelevant, but... I also wonder if bits count as beam damage. Should probably check that. Bits and their eventual replacement funnels are pretty strong. It might not be a bad idea to open up with defense hack. Have her out there in place of Tremmy. The X and circle button on this controller are slightly different in the noise they make. Of course, we get into an encounter, what, one step away from the boss fight? At least it didn't be, we didn't take damage from it. Less than a full step. So I think we were close last time. And close doesn't cut it. So Tristan was able to do enough damage to largely negate the fact that Tremmy was not attacking that round. wanted to check out bits. Yeah. Okay. Bits are the way to go. Is unfortunate. Especially since for damage's sake, I think I am going to want to keep using bits whenever possible. Sure, Earthquake is blockable by anything, so... just to keep our damage going a bit. Wish we had a kind of repair all type. I think Lightning Lancer is the strongest she has anyway. Aeon will still likely be our big damage dealer. And that I don't think this big Zam has that much health. Good rounds here could make all the difference. Tremi, Aeon, and Tristan out there next round, we should be able to get 1200 additional damage off before it goes. Oh, doesn't matter. Brings out the swap. What the hell is an EN? I think we have an EN charger equipped. I think that's just one. Or no, we don't have it equipped. I think that's the +1 when you use charge. Bazuli, huh? That's the least general-like name we've experienced. Alvazard is Vladi Zarth, what the? If I had a pimple that large, I would also be using a dumb mask to cover it. Especially if it was a perfect hexagon, like that. Well, Tristan, you see, as far as how you could have been so stupid, it's that whenever we have been presented with two options, you've taken the dumber one because you're a Gundam protagonist. Those suits around yours are orders of magnitude stronger than your own suit. Any one of those could have taken out all of those bosses without breaking a sweat. Major rip snore. So, Resner and Gavinger apparently are going to die. Also, if I get into a random encounter here, I'm kind of fucked. Actually, I'm not in as bad of a spot as I thought I was. I was fully expecting this to be locked. But again, thankfully, due to it being Gundam, we're not dealing with people who are competent. Actual competence is non-existent in the world of Gundam. Gundam! In that, don't you mean out there? I mean, Gavinger is in the best suit we have, technically. And he's a psychopath. Well, Gavinger won't have it tomorrow, but the rest of the party will. And what? Oh, I got confused because we're still being shown the map we can't do anything with. Is there anything in here? What is the purpose of that? We will have enough time with the camphor at the front. This is near enough the last stand for the Gan. I have no idea where the fuck we're going. Yeah, because if we look back, that Psycho Gundam is completely going to destroy us. So, 2 guesses as to what this is. First guess doesn't count. I'm pretty sure Tremi's about to say exactly what it is. And so we get more cutscenes. Well, actually, apparently we don't get more cutscenes. I forgot that this game actually does take pity on the player from occasion. On occasion. Because it's an anime game? So I suspect that I am about the level you're supposed to be here. And I say that because I'm pretty sure starting next level-ish, next level, 2 levels from now, Aeon starts picking up a whole bunch more techniques and boosts. So while at present she is well behind when it comes to boosts, and well, actually she has a lot of techniques already, so maybe she doesn't pick up that many more techniques immediately. But I think the next few levels she's oh, that's actually convenient. The next few levels she is picking up either a technique or a boost. I think that's until like late-ish 20s. Hey, level 2 keycard. That's going to be useful when we get back to the Moon Arc with both of our party members. Oh, I didn't realize that there were items there. I was thinking that the items were going to be in the room. How the fuck were you supposed to see that? I was just clicking X. I figured it was going to be, I can't show you, but if there was going to be something hidden, it was going to be like a path over by those blocks. This game is actually really fucking mean about its hidden stuff. Fortunately, it seems like none of it's been that important. I don't actually remember how much of it we've used. course, this is presumably Tremmy's mother and father's gravestones. I was thinking there were more items here. Like a light, huh? I think that there was an item we missed in Tremmy's room. I don't know how important it is. Probably was not very useful. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go back and grab it, but... I suspect that if it were not a Gundam game, and Gundam I kind of have this mental association of there's going to be a lot of meaningless deaths. Deaths whose only purpose is to do character advancement. I would probably have, I don't know, any kind of feelings about the character deaths we've just had. But it's Gundam. Dumb characters and dumb deaths are kind of the order of the day. I actually don't know which way we need to go. It looks like it's just we need to head east and all routes lead the correct way. That's good. Now, it would be nice if we had the Gundam in place of the Gelgoop. Not necessary, though. Oh, the shock took care of the defend. I was wondering why that missile did so much damage. And so there's a route here. I believe it goes roughly 1,000,000 goddamn miles. And I think there's some boxes that would need hacking tools, and of course we don't have any. Because of course we don't have any. Fortunately, being dropped down to 2 characters only lasted a very short period of time. Also, I know it's just me being pedantic, but if it stated more floors down, this would... I feel like it would be more believable for a under ocean route. Oh, hey, we do have a hacking tool. And that's my dog barking at something. That's maybe the front door. Oh, I'll go check that. I didn't mean to answer it, so... Standing up did make my legs feel a lot better, though. Didn't even realize that I'd been getting sore from sitting so long. Game I find a lot easier to play for the 3 or so hours than everything else I've been doing this week. Hey, remember Fritz? For some reason, I was expecting them to use the voice acting again. I suspect the voice acting was added to the original and then they kind of forgot about it here. Because the damn voice clips are present on disc. And meet Bazuli. I think you can tell from the fact that he is way higher level than us that we are probably a touch underleveled. Aside from reflexes, he's actually pretty good. He kind of fits the Gavenger mold. He has most of the good utilities, good techniques that Gavenger had, but he is much more focused on offense, unfortunately. This does mean that right now we do not have Beam Field. That kinda sucks. Actually. Also, his portrait is dumb as hell. And I should probably be having him use Shoot All since the suit is set up for that, but one way or the other, I don't think he's actually going to kill anything. He kind of has the same problem that Aeon would have right now. The gap between our melee suits and our non-melee suits is just too fucking big. And part of that is the ranged focused suits are kinda crappy for a while. Also, I think I missed an area. I think I missed the area with the locked boxes. It might even show up on the map. It does, but not logically. The area that Bazuli joined us, that had the cutout on the south, I believe there's a door there. Gun cannon 2, huh? Gun cannon 2. could have sworn there was a button shortcut for defend, but apparently not. There's only a button shortcut for swap. Damn it. I think even if we had the thing that makes it less likely for you to experience fights with low-level enemies, I don't know that it would be doing anything, because I think these are roughly the same level as us, possibly higher. That was weird. Apparently that's noise from the... well... My inclination is to say that that's noise on Voice Meter's part. You can't see it. Now, I believe this is the one we want. Yeah. I believe this one is just straight up bad. We don't have a hacking tool anyway. This I think is useful for Aeon. This is... I don't remember. And the two on the east side are both useful, but obviously we don't have hacking tools. It's a long route to Alaska. Even once we get out, I'm not sure where the Unicorn headquarters is. I do actually want to check something, because I know that there is a... at this stage it would be an optional town. We are a handful of E-caps short of getting the best booster item. It might not actually be the best, but it's the best we would have available to us for a long time. And in a way, it would be the best anyway, because it, boosters provide essentially two things. They provide mostly minor stat boosts, and they provide energy. And the version that we would have access to, of course, provides the most energy. Energy being the one thing that is actually kind of difficult to raise. I'm pretty sure there is a save point on both sides of this passage. Which is going to be very useful, because I am going to do something that's really, really dumb. Now, I believe we can just pop into Unicorn HQ when we get there. One of the issues is that I'm pretty sure we basically just need to go to California right now. Once we get there, I think that's going to be it for this time. Especially since I'm pretty sure it'll take a while to get there. Not like half an hour or anything, but a while. pretty ridiculous that Bazuli is still like 5 levels ahead of everybody. 4 levels now. We can just continue heading straight down. We don't want to go too far east into Canada because while the California coast and the Alaska to California route has mostly enemies that aren't that big a deal, meandering over too far into Canada would place us up against a lot of very dangerous enemies. Some of which could probably one-shot us. I mean, these stronger enemies that we're facing right now aren't particularly dangerous, but... ultimately, that is because we are doing, with melee, probably about 1.5 times the damage we're supposed to be doing. Even if we were supposed to have this, we were only supposed to have it on one person. Having this capability on 2 people is a lot more than the game really expects from us. And I don't know what the hell that beep was. Or pop was. Obviously, we're going to have another fair bit of lot dump before we can save. Not just prepared, expecting to die. He realized he was in a Gundam game. So we have a Gundam. We have a Gundam Mark II. In theory. seem to recall the Gundam Mark II kinda sucks. Mostly because, as you can likely already guess, it's going to be the first of its generation of suits. We actually have a fair number of credits. So it's kind of your intro to this generation of suits. So it can't be too good. I mean, we have kind of the last of the suits that all of them are kind of the same-ish level of ability. Case in point, everything aside from the Gyan, which is set up to not be good at ranged, has pretty similar base stats. If it didn't have 55 melee arm, the Kamefer wouldn't be that much better at melee than the Gelgoog or the Gundam. And it's right there as far as range goes. So, that is going to be it for me. Thank you for watching. And I will be back, Monday?